I'm telling you this. So there's a thing that I think we've forgotten to do. And one of my
Uh-oh.
neighbors, um, I don't know the neighbor, and actually, I didn't talk with him. He was. I know his wife better than I know him, and know his wife because I see her walking their dog often in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So actually, I probably know the dog better than him. But anyway, he walks by while Jen was out front, and he basically said, "Landscaper's phone not working this weekend." And Jen looked at him and goes, "What?" He goes, "Well, your landscaper's just not answering the phone." And she said, "No, we just thought we'd get some work done." But and then I had a couple of other neighbors who, when they saw us doing the work, and I'll post some pictures of this stuff a little bit later today. But and I posted a couple of them on X over the weekend. But
Yeah.
they're like, "Well, isn't this why you have boys?" Because one of them was in Hawaii or is in Hawaii and couldn't be there to help. The other one
Yeah.
was busy. But anyway, yeah, it's we moved 11 and a half tons of rock between Friday afternoon and Sunday and Sunday afternoon. So it was a good it was a good weekend. I feel awesome. A couple of other comments, and neighbors are always neighborly, right? As this stuff is kind of going along. How's your back holding up? It actually, I felt like it kind of loosened up my back. Like I feel good.
That kind of work I've always found is like, to a certain extent, yes, it gets exhausting at a certain point, but it's just refreshing to you start to work all those muscles that going to the gym, it doesn't really
It
work.
does
You're like,
not.
oh, I forgot about those little muscles that do that.
The other one that was pretty good, and this is just kind of a good way to warm up for the week. But the other one was, so my brother came over to help. Um and he was able to kind of like come in for like just a couple of hours at a time. So he came in
Yeah.
Friday and then came over on Saturday for a period. And he sends me a text yesterday. He's like, "I don't know how you did it. I hurt in places I didn't even know I had." I'm like, I
That'll
told him, I'm
happen.
like, thanks for the help. And but yeah, and I mean, the thing that's really important whenever you do that kind of work is good freaking technique. Because like when I was younger, I didn't give a crap about
Yeah. You just
bending my knees,
bend at
lifting
the
with my
waist,
legs,
throw rock. Yeah, no problem.
all that kind of stuff. But good technique will save you. And if there were a couple of points in time where I had said either to Jen or Chris that I think I want to just get a big old pile of dirt to put on the side of the house, and then maybe every couple of weekends I just move it from one end to the one end to the other. Just
Funny.
keep moving my pile back and forth.
Yeah. I've totally thought the same thing for no apparent reason on multiple properties. Yeah.
It's
Especially this new property too. I mean,
Well, and
it's like,
what's cool about it is when you're
oof,
lifting heavy things and moving things around like that, you're just kind of at peace with yourself. Like there's not there's not a lot of other stuff. Like you're
yeah.
not walking around with your phone when you're doing this kind of stuff.
Oh no.
But I also said, and he goes, Chris said, if you say it again, I'm going to hit you with the shovel. But I said, we should just be happy that we could still do this kind of stuff, you know? And I think he turns
I thought you were
40
gonna
in
say safety first.
No, he's no, we did have cameras up, so we were paying attention. Like OSHA compliance people might have been okay with the way that we were doing some things, but not all things.
You're gonna turn this into a training video, right? And a how-to.
Yeah, that was the last thing I was thinking about. I wasn't thinking about shooting shit. I wasn't thinking about posting crap on
Yeah, this is why
YouTube.
you're relegated to just hanging out with me on, weekly every morning.
So,
But anyways,
good morning,
wow,
everyone.
Today's plan, actually, we have a plan for today. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Did you remember our plan for today?
well, I think we're going to get into the Department of Labor's maturity model.
Yes, we are. Excellent work. Well, you must have taken a note. Did you? Is it on your whiteboard?
I've got some stuff on
No,
my whiteboard, but not that.
no, not
This
that.
one, this one, this one on the whiteboard was good. It was probably our worst newsletter that we've done since we've launched it in September. Like after, and part of it was I was just tired, and
Yeah, you had work. You had yard work to do. Way more important.
the but it was around the cost of saying yes, how the little things that you say yes to just add up, and the importance of saying no, and that's why there are a couple of 2x2s up there. So if you're looking for that, go to findmycatalyst.com and you can see this week's newsletter.
Yeah, that is always brutal. So, for those of you who don't know what we do here, every single morning is we like to talk about all things related to just work and to the L&D industry and to the industries that we're familiar with, Mike and I. And we're trying to make this fun for y'all and learning how to navigate change and navigate all of the issues and all of the new things and the craziness that's happening. One of the crazy things that showed up from our executive producer, I guess it was a week or 2 weeks ago, was the U.S. Department of Labor's AI literacy framework that they released. I had no idea that was even in the works, but it's pretty cool. And we thought we should devote some time to it. And so the answer to the question of how we're going to do that was, let's just do it Monday morning and we'll blaze through the news and then we'll get to the AI literacy framework. So in that spirit,
I'd like to publicly acknowledge that both of us remembered that this was a thing that we were going to do this morning.
Yes, and which means that I expect some cheers and congratulations from our other producers.
Yes.
I don't see anything in the chat, in the
Well,
comments yet, though. So
the good news, and I'm a
wait.
big fan of the way the comments show up on here on YouTube. So we'll do a couple of the good mornings, and then Brent will get to the news. But yeah, within the next minute after things catch up, I expect that we will get publicly praised for the positive reinforcement works.
Yeah, come on. It's awesome. We do appreciate all of the positive reinforcement we can get. I am looking. I know I already ran it this morning. All right, I was going to say, I haven't even looked at Gemini's script yet. I wonder if it's as good as the Grok one. Here's the Grok one. Sorry.
Let's roll.
I'm dragging. Here we go. Oh, do you happen to have the intro graphic video? I'll read the first paragraph and then you roll the video with the coffee cups.
Oh shit.
Go widescreen on that.
Give me.
That'd be kind of cool.
Give me. I'm working on it. And Craig, thanks for getting the Slack room up and running.
Yes, and Slack. And while we're all trying to rally ourselves, there is a Slack channel because we thought there was going to be some epic lag in the comment sections of YouTube and LinkedIn, because there still is on LinkedIn, but YouTube is a lot quicker, at least than it used to be. And so, but the Slack channel is still pretty cool. So, hey, if you love what we're doing and you love hanging out with us, send us a DM and join us in the Slack group for a conversation that extends beyond the live stream and stays live. We have a separate channel for each week, so you can always go back to each of the weeks if you missed anything in the conversation, something we shared, or something that was mentioned that you want to go back to. So it's a
That was a premature morning brief.
Well, but that's the one. Awesome.
Good. All right, perfect.
You can just roll it now. That's cool. Or I'll read. Never mind. If you've just got it frozen and you're just going to hit play on it, then here we go. I want to read through the intro, and then you hit that, and then we're good to go. Good morning, L&D legends. Welcome to the L&D Morning Brief, your caffeinated, no BS roundup of the stories shaping how adults actually learn, grow, and don't accidentally train Skynet. I'm your host. We're your hosts, Brent and Mike, otherwise known as Chip Learner. And what name did you land on, Mike? Pedagogy? We'll go with that one.
No, Kirkpatrick.
Patrick. That's right.
Kirkpatrick.
That's right. That's right. We're your hosts, Chip Learner and Kirkpatrick. So good. Well, maybe we should come up with new ones every time. Anyways, channeling our inner weekend update energy with way more Kirkpatrick levels. Let's dive in before your first coffee gets cold. Breaking news. Pentagon picks OpenAI over Anthropic in epic AI military meltdown. Folks, hold on to your compliance training modules. It's AI arms race o'clock. The Pentagon blacklisted Anthropic, makers of Claude, as a supply chain risk after they refused to let their model loose on unrestricted military uses like domestic surveillance or autonomous weapons. Hours later, OpenAI swoops in with a deal to deploy ChatGPT level models on classified networks, complete with their own safety guardrails. Why this matters to y'all out there in the L&D world, and why we're here telling you about it. If the biggest buyer of tech on earth is now betting hard on specific AI providers for training, warfare fighters, simulation design, and classified learning systems, your corporate AI learning tools are about to face massive vendor consolidation pressure. Plus, if story one wasn't L&D related enough, imagine using Claude for ethics training and suddenly it's persona non grata. Hilarious compliance nightmare fuel. Sorry, team, our AI ethics coach has just designated a national security threat. Back to PowerPoint.
So I think this one's a super interesting one because it turned into a couple of really good conversations with folks, both like text messages back and forth, and then a dinner conversation. We went out to met up with one of Sean's friends. His mom was in town, and so we went and met up with them up in Old Town, so the conversation kind of carried over both the stuff that you see on X, the discussion
Yeah.
at dinner, and the text messages back and forth. And I mentioned Chris before, which is kind of like it's kind of like having like he's the crazy uncle that's in the house that my kids have that happened to be my brother, and it's I think the thing that was super interesting about it, number one, how dug in people got around whatever. So it was like, ooh, this is great. Yep, go this direction. And the other one was, this just makes me want to absolutely invest in this other company because of X, like whatever the thing was. Like people started, it was polarized. It was a polarizing thing. The other thing that I thought was super interesting is the timing. And when I say the timing, it's the timing on Anthropic announcing publicly that a lot of their models were being copied by open source providers in certain countries just recently, like within the last couple of days, kind of thing. And then this comes on, and like I say, most people don't know. A lot of these negotiations that you have happen include multiple people over a period of time. It's not like everybody just was like, "Ooh, today's the day we're going to go ahead and negotiate this and decide this and all of that kind of stuff." It doesn't.
I saw something on X this morning. Let's change our whole entire strategy.
it's so then you start to look at it and say, "Oh, okay, how much information is kind of being seeded out and put in different places for a specific purpose," right? And this is why I say this out loud everywhere. And granted, I walk around with a freaking tinfoil hat on relative to security and a bunch of other different things, but buyer beware. Like,
Yeah.
go out there, understand what the specific purpose is that you need to address inside your business, what the job to be done is, what the goal is, what the objective is. Then go out there and figure out what can do that thing best right now, get that thing done, and then move on to the next, because analysis paralysis is brutal. This was kind of cool to see play out live in an environment where you're kind of like, I don't know if I'm part of the Truman Show or if this is all part. This is, or you're like, what all is going on? But I thought it was fascinating, and I think it's cool that the producer hit on it this morning. So nice work, producer.
Nice work, producer. Grabbed it. Yeah. So me adjusting the instructions a few weeks ago to grab something that may be outside of the L&D box,
Yeah,
but still kind of interesting and relatable
yeah.
as news you might be having in conversations around the water cooler or the digital water cooler. Might be a good one. So yeah, it was definitely a good one. And if y'all that are watching or in the Slack or the chat, have other questions or thoughts on it, drop it in there. And we'll put it in our parking lot because
I know we're going to move. I know we want to move fast. One more thing to add to this. This highlights some of the really important work we all do when it comes to documentation, iteration, testing, like all of these things that you've you went to school to figure out how to do and do projects and demonstrate that you could do, and then over time throughout your career you've done those things. You document things, you pay attention, you test, and you also be aware that everybody will have an opinion on something, even if they have no clue what the heck they're talking about. Um, I thought I just I don't really care for how polarized how the divide that happens in a couple of these areas. I did think it was super interesting that both Altman and the head security in the public sector, I forget her name, went on and were doing Ask Me Anything live
yeah,
on X during over the weekend, and I thought that was kind of interesting. And you can kind of go back through and see not only what they shared, but also when you share something that can be taken out of context, it has to be corrected because that happened too in that whole
yeah.
thing. So
Oh yeah,
like, just pay attention to it and don't react. Like don't let that thing be the thing that switches everything, because if that's the thing that switches everything, I don't know that you're really operating your business.
yeah,
So anyway,
yeah. Little things
back to back to you.
can't change your whole world.
No,
Yeah. It's crazy. But in our tech and innovation segment, new research drops a mic on leadership training. Generosity isn't fluffy. It's literally rewiring your brain for better decisions. Committing to generous acts lights up the temporoparietal junction. That's the social cognition HQ, and boosts connectivity to the ventral striatum. That's the reward center or reward central. Consistent mentoring, transparent decisions, and curiosity trigger neurochemical compounding, building resilient cultures and trust that lets teams move fast. Why does this matter to L&D? Forget another emotional intelligence workshop that nobody remembers. You got to design programs around evidence based neuro leadership habits, small, repeated, generous behaviors that deliver measurable ROI in retention, innovation, and speed. Your next leadership track just got a scientific glow up. You do leadership stuff. How does this track with the leadership stuff you do?
um, what I got lost in the story, and I know that wasn't the question, but what I got lost in the story is again the bit of the different aspects of the brain that we're hitting on in these stories, which is cool, because then you start to say, okay, you know what, maybe there is something to this neuroscience thing, and there are things that you can kind of lean on as they go through, as far as generosity being, why it does whatever it does and what it triggers on a certain level. Don't be an asshole. Don't be a dick when you're in the engaging with people. Um, uh, Demonstrate that you appreciate them. When you do good things, you will feel good. What's the It is better to give than receive, kind of thing. Like
You
all of
can
that kind
get
of stuff.
you can get more with honey than you can with
Vinegar,
vinegar or
yeah,
what's the
right.
yeah.
It's yeah, so all of those kind of things when they add on to each other, all of those kind of things are kind of I think are super I think are interesting. I am and granted, I understand it. This is how we're prompting the producer to do things, and there are themes that are going through as you continue to increase technology. Getting humans to work with that technology is going to become more and more important. That
Yeah.
in order to be able to do that, that's a leadership thing. It's how we move forward, both from the in the context of self and in the context of others. So I think all of this stuff is good because we're talking about leadership, we're talking about the brain, we're talking about um yeah, Confucius said, I'm not Confucius. But we're talking about leadership, we're talking about the brain, and um most of the people that you're leading and most of the people who are leaders have brains. So I think it's good.
Well, yeah, there you have it. I know. I keep saying, I like to stick with the age-old adage of, everything I needed to know I learned in kindergarten
Seriously.
or Sunday school, one or the other. It's like I read these things and I'm like, they're like research shows that
Yeah.
people will like you more if you're really nice to them. It's like, wow, we needed a research study to figure that part.
It's one of those things. We have not done a very good job with this. And um I've never really done a good job of this over my career. You going in and being like, here's what the research shows, or whatever. I would just do the research. I would do those things, and it would work. And when it would work, it would work. And when it wouldn't work, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Um, the I think it's I'm going to start to add in more stuff where I'm able to pull from like Josh Berson's work or MIT's work or whomever's work, put it out there because if they say it, then it must be true or people it provides some like credibility and validity. I will tell you, I can put anything out there and say that somebody said it. 99% of the people that read that will be like, "Oh, that's awesome that so and so said it." They won't go deeper. They won't ask a question. They won't look for the source material. Um, but if I say, "Hey, here's what worked for me, and this is how it worked," everybody's like, "Well, okay, that's an N of one. That's an edge case. That's a whatever." Like
Yeah.
we're
But
all
it's the
N of
exact same
ones.
thing
We're
that
all edge
Josh
cases.
Berson's thing said. Oh, now it's important.
Now
Now
it's all
you
of a sudden it's important. It's kind of like, well, it's kind of like when you're telling the kids, hey, make sure you clean the table. And then they see,
the
blue and
crazy uncle
say,
comes over and says, "Hey kids, clean the table." And they're like, "Oh, that's a great idea, crazy uncle."
mind blown. All right.
All right, story number 3, human culture, 7 ways to become a heart-centered leader. Click below for all of the things you need and pay for the workshop. Allison Kermode, 25 years scaling companies, drops her Evol and Ved training. It's got a copyright thing next to it. So capital E, capital V, capital O, capital L, capital ampersand, VED. It's your training model to shift leaders from overactive mind energy to heart centered awareness. Results? Better communication, less conflict, skyrocketing engagement, and a heart centered advantage that actually sticks. Why this matters to L&D soft skills training is evolving past platitudes. Build experiential programs teaching energetic awareness and emotional regulation, rarely covered in traditional corporate curriculums. Your culture initiatives just found their secret weapon against burnout and ego-driven drama.
What's the
I'll take
secret?
this one.
Wow.
Story 4.
Oh, okay. See,
Sorry, go
experiential
ahead, Mike.
learning.
I couldn't resist.
Everybody do that and tell us what you experience.
Yeah. I'm sorry, whoever you were, Allison. I'm sure it's a fantastic training model. God bless you for putting all the work into it. But yeah, I'll move on.
All right.
We're in industry specific news now. We're going to do healthcare today. DNV's new international accreditation standard, the DIAS for hospitals. DNV rolls out DIAS, a globally recognized accreditation built on ISO 9001 principles to tackle regulatory demands, patient expectations, workforce shortages, and system transformation in hospitals. Flexible, robust quality and safety framework. Why this matters to L&D. Healthcare training just got a major compliance and performance upgrade. L&D teams in pharma, hospitals, and med devices now have clearer benchmarks for designing regulatory aligned programs on patient safety, staff competency, and continuous improvement. Time to audit your hospital's clients' training against DIAS before auditors do it for you. Dun, dun, dun. It's the fear factor. You and I have never worked in healthcare before, Mike. How do these stories resonate with you?
I think checklists are good. And something to measure against is good. So like being able to say, hey, this is the thing. Now I can go ahead and measure against this thing and say, do we align with the thing or don't we align with the thing? Or do we want to align with it? Okay, we know the thing. Do we want to align with the thing or not align with the thing? Oh, we've adopted the thing. Okay. Now do we actually align with the thing? Ooh, we align with the thing in these ways and we don't align with the thing in these ways. Cool. We've got current state versus desired state. We've got a gap we can go ahead and address. I think all of that stuff is super, super cool. And whether we're talking about healthcare or we're talking about some other operating environment, having something, having a way to assess, having an assessment you can align on, being able to do the assessment and figure out whether or not where your gaps are, and then going ahead and focusing on those gaps is a very good thing. What's not a good thing is when you keep changing the assessment.
Yes.
So
well, you gotta, what gets measured gets done.
right.
And
Yeah,
the thing I love about this stuff is the compliance stuff. It's a love-hate relationship in our industry, right? It's like everybody hates it because they're like, oh, boring compliance. I'm always doing compliance training and then compliance. It's like, hey, listen, that's what's keeping you employed. That's what makes us important in the enterprise.
Right.
So when I see these stories about new compliance things popping up, all I see are positive flags going up all over the place. So I dig it.
I think there are a couple of ways to look at it. Let's just say that part of your compliance regulation in your household is to clean your bathroom once a week. Right? So in order to be in compliance inside your household, you have to clean your bathroom once a week. And then you decide, you know what? We don't need compliance. And you don't clean it once a week. In 52 weeks, probably a lot sooner than that, you're going to have a problem. Someone's going to notice something.
Strangely enough, Mike, I can share exactly what happens because as a college student with roommates and having to share a bathroom that none of us wanted to clean, I know exactly what happens. I don't know if we went 52 weeks, but really fun stuff. The fun stuff starts to kick in at about 60 days. Yeah. So yeah, it's really interesting.
So like there's a job to be done of that thing. Now, over compliance for the sake of just being like we were talking about, don't be a dick, like over compliance, that can create a lot of problems because all of a sudden it gets in the way of work getting done. So
well, and it's not authentic either. I mean, not to shift our direction too much, but if you're talking about the nicety thing that we talked about or whatever, and you just decide I'm going to be all in on that because the compliance thing or the science says
Yeah.
you got to be super nice to everybody. All of a sudden you're super nice, but now it's fake because you're just nice all the time. And people are like, what's wrong with that guy?
People can see it. Like, you hear it. Just watch or just listen, watch the movie Office Space and listen to
Just,
the
just be
receptionist in the background.
normal. Just be a normal human being, give people grace, forgive people when they screw up and just be good.
Hit the whole thing that Brent was talking about. Go back to kindergarten.
Yeah, I mean,
Put your stuff in the place where it belongs when you're done using it. Go back to your place.
yeah.
Don't take things from others. Share
Don't pull
with
Susie's hair.
all of those things.
Okay, story number 5, authoring tools and platforms. Oh, here's a shocker. Adobe drama lingers as AI plus subscriptions keep creators grumbling.
Mm.
No blockbuster mergers today, but Adobe's still the talk. Stock free fall blamed on steep subs and competition from free/cheap AI creative tools. Firefly generative AI pushes forward with ethics pledges, but creators feel squeezed. Meanwhile, no fresh updates from Articulate, Docebo, Degreed, Cornerstone, or 360 Learning in the last 48. Why this matters to L&D. If your authoring stack includes Adobe Captivate, Rise, Express, watch pricing and AI integration closely. Shifts here ripple to every corporate e-learning budget. Time to evaluate alternatives before your next renewal hits, like a surprise compliance audit.
Hey, I'm going to just say a thank you out loud. I'm seeing the number of viewers pop up and increase here on our side, which is really cool to see. I think part of that's because we're sending more people over to YouTube. So I just said a thank you in the chat, and as I was
Awesome.
doing it, I was not
Well,
paying
they
direct attention to story number 5. So Brent, what is your perspective on story number 5? As I was saying thank you, I was expressing gratitude out to everybody based on
showing
story
the
number
love.
2.
Which part of the brain was that hitting again? I totally
I
forget.
forget, but it felt good.
It's just, as long as it felt good, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect because I think some people might be showing up because I posted a picture of the AI literacy framework and I posted that on LinkedIn. I said, hey, we're talking about that this morning. So they're probably going, what in the hell am I listening to? This is not the AI literacy
Well,
framework.
let's move into that.
We're
Actually,
trying
wrap
to
up the
cruise
news
into the
with your
news, people. We're cruise through the news to get to the AI framework. So here's what we're going to do. So so the Adobe thing, I think that might be something that Craig might have something to add. But you know what? We can chat about it in the Slack group later or throughout the week, because I do think that's kind of an interesting story. It does mention all of the other big players. Well, not all of them, but some of them. And then we also have all of the 10 stories that hit the cutting room floor. We can always come back to that later. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and discuss the AI literacy
give your
framework.
news close, and then we'll get into the AI
Oh,
literacy.
good point. That's the morning brief. Stay generous, heart-centered, and don't let the Pentagon blackball your favorite LLM. Drop your hot takes in the comments, subscribe for tomorrow's chaos, and remember, in L&D, the real superpower is making learning stick without causing a national security incident. See you bright and early.
The producer is amazing. I love it. So go ahead.
And thank you, Craig, for putting that my post into the YouTube link. That's awesome.
All right, let's do it.
Let's jump in. All right, we got about 20 minutes to jump in and talk about this
Cool.
AI literacy framework. I hope everybody's seen it. I'm going to drop some links into the Slack group, or at least hopefully I find the right ones. There's a ton out there. I just did AI framework and in government, and a whole bunch of junk popped up. But here is the one that you want.
And then share it up on the screen, and we'll get that thing.
Yeah, grab that link. I will share. I need a button that I can just press to do my sharing.
You do need buttons.
Oh, I have buttons. I just have not put them together yet.
All right. There we go. All right. I'm going to
So,
move
yeah,
this
so
thing
this is a
around. Brent,
PDF.
see what you could do to kind of zoom things in for the
Oh, yeah, will do. You got it. You're gonna do a whole
I'm just going to leave it set
multiple
up like
screen
this. So
thing.
once you get it framed properly, then we'll be good to go.
Okay.
This is awesome. In my head, I thought this was a maturity model, and it is not. It's a literacy
Yeah, when you said
framework.
that last week, I was like, it kind of threw me. I'm like, oh wait, is it a maturity model?
No,
I don't think so.
it doesn't look like it. That's it's kind
Yeah.
of like it's kind of like that whole Berenstein versus Bernstein Bears kind of thing. You get in your head that it's one way, and you find out after a long time later that it's actually something a little bit different.
Is that Babar like the children's book?
Yeah.
Two B's, two A's.
Yeah.
Babar. You're missing the drink.
Okay. The dude abides.
Well, now I got to drink again.
Obviously, you're not a bowler. Or sorry,
Damn it.
I fucked that one up. Excuse me. Obviously, you're not a golfer.
Stop
That's
it.
one of my favorite quotes in that movie. What is this?
I believe we've gone off the rails. Somebody help us. Somebody throw us a lifeline. Quick. Oy.
All right.
Okay, the Department of Labor's artificial intelligence literacy framework. This is the reason why it struck me, because obviously literacy frameworks is something that we are all about. If the government puts out a framework of some sort, sooner or later you're going to be needing to build training around it for your people, or there's going to be a mandate or something like that. And also, even if it isn't, it's great. It's great guidelines. It's great structure for you to have, to be able to talk about it, to be able to train your people, just to be able to use in general. So um, I think this is super cool. I think it's going to be popping up a lot more often, and I think everybody should be talking about it. And it's all right here in this doc. But the part that's really cool that we did start talking about, and probably all we have time for today to discuss, is more around here. So if you want to go into more of the details, they do have a website. Yeah, there's an AI.gov that talks and gives you all sorts of stuff. It's not just about this literacy framework. AI.gov talks about implementing AI, how the government's doing it, what their mission is, what their goals are, what they're trying to do with it, what the mandates are. And there is a training piece, which means there's going to be money devoted in the budgets to send out to the L&D industry and community for work to be done, for training to be done. So that also means that it's going to need to go into the LMSs that the government uses. And that means SCORM's not dying, or XAPI if they're using it, and all of that kind of stuff. So any news of AI completely crushing the L&D world and the work that we're doing, it just got it at the very least slowed down. There's a huge speed bump in the road, and it is a literacy framework. We also just like how they made the graphic too. So there's that part of the conversation too.
Yeah.
But what stands out to you about this, Mike, besides the fact that we were, when we first talked about this, there's the top part of the framework, the foundational content areas, and then there's the effective delivery principles.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that really jumped out at me, I like the way that they kind of put the puzzle pieces, the hexagon together, and had them lead through, which is probably why in my head I had it as a maturity model where you're kind of moving through stages in a specific order. So I like that from a delivery principles of AI literacy and how things are organized. I don't know that I'd agree with the order, just because I think to get to design at the end, I thought was kind of interesting. Um, so that was when you said what stands out at me. That's one that piece that stands out at me. Um, as far as the um, as far as the structure of it, under starting with principles, then getting into use cases, then being okay at managing, and then having some kind of an assessment portion whether or not things work is also very good. Like, I mean, doing that in any aspect of anything that you're rolling out is important. Let's align on definition. Let's figure out where we want to apply it. Let's make sure that we're applying it where we want to. Let's say does it actually deliver the thing? Is also good. And then the other thing that the third thing that stands out is I'm shocked that the government released something that's this simple. So, all right. So those were my three. One
Yeah,
I
I think
would,
we mentioned this before too, and not to get too far off on a tangent, but the design team got a extreme upgrade recently, and the stuff that they're putting out is very, very well done visually.
yeah, it's
So
one of the byproducts of everybody having access to tech now, right?
yeah, I guess. I don't know how. I don't know. Somebody put extra emphasis on, hey, make this shit look good, you know? So, uh,
How about
government
you?
stuff.
What stands out to you?
Yeah, I just love that they did it, first of all, that
Yeah,
there is this AI literacy framework and that there is a full on focus and an understanding that people need to understand this stuff and learn it. And the fact that this is out there gives me hope that we're not just out there um, waiting to see the next LinkedIn post from somebody that says, you're going to lose your job. So, in the next 30 days, here's the action plan and my workshop that you need to take in order to learn it. Yes, those are good and they are important. And if you have the time and the money, resources, whatever, yeah, they're great. Go for it. But from a professional perspective, I see this as opportunity. I see it as some focus for our industry to see where we can add value. The concern that AI is going to take our jobs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, things are going to change. Like we've said a million times
yeah.
here, we've been here before. New innovations, new tech. Yes, this is bigger and more drastic than most, but we've seen this play out before, and this is one of those things that typically happens, especially when it's something at this scale. So training up a new workforce on technology skills isn't necessarily new, and devoting some government resources to it to build the next generation workforce isn't necessarily new. There's always eyeballs on that, but the fact that they're taking it into consideration and putting it out in a framework like this, I think is awesome.
Well, one of the things that you can do, and it's, I mean, just from again, leaning on some of the design, some of the cool parts about this, you can actually have a conversation with people in the room when they're saying, "Hey, from an output perspective, we're not getting what we want out of this investment." Okay, well then let's work backward and say, are we not getting it because, and we can go all the way back to the beginning. We could start at the front. Did we understand principles? Are we aligned on principles? Are
Mm.
we aligned on use cases? If any of these are no's, then but let's get aligned there before we expect it to work on the outside of it.
Well, this
This
that
output side of things.
yeah, and that's why these things are so awesome because they do the work for you. This gives this gives your AI initiative, if you're working on
Yeah.
one, this gives you something to think about and to do and to know and some guidance. And then it also gives you some ammunition to take to your leadership to say, okay, here's what's been released. This is what the experts are saying is these are the effective delivery principles. These are the foundations. We can either choose to follow these or we can invent our own or, whatever. But at least you have some place to start. You have a starting point of some principles that you can follow and guide everything you do around that to make sure that you're shooting your arrows at the right target. If you're just, it's like somebody saying, you got to go out and learn AI. And it's like, okay, well, there's like, 20 different AI things out there that I know of that I could possibly learn. Which one do I start? And you start hunting and looking, and it gets overwhelming, and you just kind of freak out. You have to start somewhere. You have to figure out what those main principles are, what your guiding principles are in doing any of this. And then that's going to give you some guide rails, right? If you've got some rails, then you can kind of bounce around within those rails, but at least you've got some guideposts. You can even go outside the guideposts every now and then to learn a little something new, but you hop back in and you at least you have some sense of focus. And I think this gives it. And it would be nice to see if anybody else has any thoughts or concerns or would like to hear us talk about something specific about this in the comments would be great. Just to dial us in a little bit. I'm trying to catch up on the links.
It'd be super interesting to kind of hear what you don't agree with. Like if like what's missing here. What are you surprised that hasn't been put in here? Yeah. So just kind of like, because a lot of times, especially when you do something this kind of simple and straightforward, you end up saying, oh, well, what about this? Well, what are some of the what about this kind of things, and how would you address those?
Yeah, I mean, and let's just pick one off because we don't have a whole lot of time left. Sorry, folks, that the news ran a little bit longer than I think we'd hoped, and I was hoping we'd get in a little bit deeper.
So Wendy asked, can we read it out loud? So why don't you read? Can you read out loud across the top? Let's hit on all five of those first.
So these are the foundational content areas of AI literacy. Number 1. Understand AI principles, understanding AI's core concepts, capabilities, and limitations, creating the foundation for effective use. So your standard understanding, just get the basic, the high level global, concepts of AI and the principles. Okay. Excuse me. Number 2, explore AI uses, directly exploring different AI tools and relevant use cases and how AI can complement human expertise. There's a lot of those out there. Number 3, direct AI effectively, understanding how to provide the right context to AI and how to create clear prompts that produce effective outputs. So there's our prompting section. For those of you who are interested, the government is interested in how you prompt. Effective outputs require clear prompts. Number 4, evaluate AI outputs, assessing AI-generated results for accuracy and relevance and understanding how to iterate on AI outputs. That was number 4. Number 5 of the 5 foundational content areas of AI literacy. Use AI responsibly, using AI in ethical and secure ways, protecting critical information and ensuring accountability for outcomes. Those are our foundational content areas of AI literacy. And I know a lot of you are going to be going, duh, it's just common sense. We've been talking about that for years, but when you put it in a framework that everybody can follow and everybody, this is the communication part that Mike talks about a lot, right? Some things are what, Mike?
Said.
And
heard. And remembered.
So I just went through and I said 5 things. I used a lot of words. Which parts of that is anybody ever going to remember? No one's going to remember the detail about every single one of those 5. Nobody's going to remember probably all 5 exactly what the headlines are, but you're probably going to remember that, hey, you know what? There's some foundational content areas of AI literacy and there's 5 of them.
and you can put them up on the board and just kind of take a little, like, either a sticky note or a magnet or whatever it is, whatever kind of indicator, and just kind of say, we are here, or this thing that we're talking about relates to this piece. And now we need to go a little bit deeper, and it can create, as Brent's talking about, a bit of guidance so that you have clarity and then can focus attention in the right areas. Let me hit on the effective delivery principles just off the top, and I'm only going to read the ones that are in bold. And again, we've got links to this inside the Slack channel. You can go and do your search for Department of Labor AI literacy framework. It will pop up. You'll see the press release. Number one, enable experiential learning. Number two, embed learning in context. We talk about that, the importance of embedding in context, right? Number three, build complementary human skills. Four, address prerequisites to AI literacy. Five, create pathways for continued learning. Six, prepare enabling roles. Seven, design for agility. And this is, I'll just read the detail on the design for agility. Ensuring there are proactive built-in mechanisms to rapidly update content and delivery as AI capabilities evolve. If you have been living under a rock, you may not be aware that the models are evolving very, 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 very fast. Um, the things that people were talking about doing that seemed super, super technical 3 months ago, people are now vibe coding and doing now. Like, and when you use them across the different platforms, you can start to see how work can be used in one area or created in one area, then refined in another area, and then tested by the original area to check for a validity. Things are happening super fast. If you don't design for agility, you're going to get yourself into a situation where someone is going to say, hey, that's not how we do it, or whatever. And things are going to evolve really quickly. Toddy, good to see you. How about the
Hey,
how or
Toddy.
details, aka what does use responsibly mean in practice? This is one of those things that I think is super an awesome question to ask, because it will change depending on where you are, who you are, and what you're doing. Here's what is important: gain clarity inside your group around what that is, so that you know that you're aligned, and then your work and your decisions, your actions, decisions and actions have integrity. They're aligned with what the principles that you've put out there. Um, great question, Toddy. So much of that stuff changes, and I know you know that based on the organizations that you've been fortunate enough to work with and the different work that you've done over time. You know how that kind of stuff changes in practice.
Yeah, and I was actually going to go into a really long thing, and then Wendy drops in the really all we need to say is it's common language. That's the point I
Very
was
well.
trying to make, and I appreciate you simplifying that for me, Wendy, uh, because it is that, and Mike just kind of alluded to it as well. If you don't, this gives you a starting point to be able to have those conversations, to use a common language, to talk about AI within your workplace, and to be able to ask these questions. So, what does responsibility mean in your organization? It's the details of it are going to be different in every single organization. Some may be similar, some may be exactly the same in certain industries, but this gives you that ability to at least ask that question and to be able to say, "Hey, you know, this is something important. We need to figure this out if we don't know." And if you think you know and you just assume that everybody else knows, you don't know until it's been written down or discussed and everybody's aligned on it. And then we can move from there. But all of this stuff, I think, at the very least, is a great place to start. This is a great launching point. It's a fantastic framework, and it does cover all of the bases for sure. I don't know if there's anything missing in here. If there is something that's missing, their assumption was probably as well, it's embedded in one of these
Yeah.
7 or the 5 areas. So it seems pretty high level enough to cover just about everything we need. And there's enough here to keep us busy for quite a
Well, and
while, I
what
believe.
I really like, just think about how it starts, like the simple words that are used here, which gets into Wendy's piece on common language: enable, embed, build, address, create, prepare, design.
Ooh, I like that.
Like,
Yeah.
just the first words in each of those things. Are
Yeah.
we in it? Yeah. So, understand, explore, direct, evaluate, use. Like the right. So in addition to the design work, the copy writer, or whatever tool they use to help with the copy, did very, very well. So this is very well done.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure.
what anything else jump out at you, Brent?
You know, um, I'll be honest, I need to go dig deeper into it. I mean, we've looked at this, and I've actually referred back to this a couple times over the last few weeks since it first came out, or 2 weeks, whatever it's been, and have shared it with some
Yeah,
people that have been asking about this kind of stuff. But there's so much more on the website, and there's so many more details around it. I'm also really super interested in the what sort of grants are out there for building, training to support this and to help build the next generation workforce for this kind of stuff. So there is a lot to talk about here, and there's a lot going on. This is just one
yeah.
piece of it. So,
Drop the take the PDF that you've got, because the file that you had loaded in Slack, it was a local thing. Just upload the PDF Slack
oh,
channel, just so that folks can kind of can see it there as well. And if you want to be part of the Slack channel, be part of the conversation continues. It persists well after this show in the morning. There's a lot of back and forth. You get to even see pictures of work that happens over the weekend, and all of that other kind of stuff in that channel as we continue to build. We do this every day, Monday through Thursday. So every day, Monday through Thursday, as long as it's a Monday through a Thursday, we do this every day at 6 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time. We're continuing to evolve in the way that we're doing the show based on feedback that we're getting from you all. And right now we're focusing on doing the chat in YouTube, which is super interesting. One of the cool things about the YouTube chat is it doesn't persist. So like those comments don't hang out, at least as far as we've been able to tell. So it's real time interaction with folks while we're watching, while we're going through this, which is very different than what you see on the LinkedIn side. We will continue to test. If you've got recommendations, if you've got things you like, if you got things you don't like, um, uh, including if you're just a big fan of the producer but not a big fan of the hosts are replaceable. We can, we can,
we have considered AI replacements for
we
each of us.
absolutely
So,
have. And with what Synthesia is doing and a couple of the other tools that are out there, we might that might happen sooner than you think. Uh,
hey, listen, if anybody that runs one of those companies that has the live AI people that can put in the place of us and you'd like us to beta test it for you, hit us up on the DMs on LinkedIn and we can work
how
something out.
awesome would it be to have a live AI producer correcting us midstream?
They would get listening in on the
Yeah, and then
conversation, going,
reacting,
no, no,
and
no,
then
no,
being like,
that's not what I
"Get
meant
back
when I
to the
wrote the
script,
script
get
that
back to
way.
the script, get back to the script." Anyway,
Yeah, you guys have gone off
you've
the
gone off the
rails.
rails. Um,
Well, that's why we have Mike and Craig and Wendy. They're they're here to keep us in line. And Toddy now too. God bless you, Toddy, for hanging
and
out with
John,
us.
thanks for being here too,
You know us well, so I'm just super happy you, despite how well you know us, you made the conscious choice to hang out with
and
us.
continue to make that choice. So,
Yes.
Brent, where can people find you?
Oh, on LinkedIn. Yeah. Send me a DM or two and say hi. And where can people find their
You
catalyst,
find your
Mike?
catalyst at findmycatalyst.com. we will do this again tomorrow.
Yeah, we will do it again tomorrow
All
for
right.
sure.
We'll see you then.
See everybody
Thanks.
then. Adios, everybody.